Hey everyone, gearing up for the 2026 sports? I know that feeling, staring at that giant ICSE history syllabus and just feeling completely swamped. Well, don't worry, stick with me for a few minutes, because we're going to zero in on the three movements that are basically your secret weapon. This is all about getting you maximum marks with minimum stress. Ready? Let's dive in. I mean, are you just buried under all those chapters, dates, and names? It's a lot. I totally get it. That ICSE syllabus is just massive. It's so easy to get lost and, let's be honest, waste a ton of time studying things that might not even be that important. But what if I told you there's a much smarter way to revise? And that's the key, right? It's all about studying smarter, not harder. Just take a look at the official weightage here. See that? Unit 2, the mass phase of the national movement, that's a gold mine. We're talking 15 to 20 marks on your paper. Think about it. That is a huge chunk of your final grade, and you can lock it down just by mastering this one section. So, see? You don't have to master everything. We're going to be strategic about this. We're going to target that one high-value unit. And in this explainer, we are breaking down the three absolute must-know movements that are the heart and soul of this section. Okay, first up, movement number 1. This one was a total game changer for the freedom struggle, the non-cooperation movement. Let's get into it. So, what was this all about? Well, this was the first nationwide movement that was all about Gandhi's principle of nonviolence. And the core idea? It was simple, but wow, was it powerful. The plan was to just refuse to cooperate with the British at all. And that meant boycotting literally everything. Foreign goods, schools run by the British, government offices, you name it, they boycotted it. Okay, for your exam, you gotta remember these three key things. First, the objective. Why did it happen? It was a protest against the awful Jallianwala Bagh tragedy and also to support the Khilafat cause. Second, the key programs. What did people do? They boycotted foreign goods, courts, and consuls. And third, why did it stop? It was called off by Gandhi himself after the Chowri Chowra incident in February 1922 because a protest sadly turned violent. All right, on to movement number 2, and this is where things really start to heat up. The struggle against British rule is about to get way more intense. So this wasn't just about refusing to cooperate anymore. No, the civil disobedience movement took it a step further. It was about actively and openly breaking laws they felt were unjust. And the most famous example? You know it, the Dandi March. An absolutely brilliant move, protesting that unfair British salt tax. So, for your exam, what's the need to know? Well, it kicked off with that iconic Dandi March, the Salt March, back in 1930. The main method was breaking the salt laws by, making their own salt from seawater. But here's the really crucial part, the impact. This movement totally blew up the base of the freedom struggle. It brought in huge numbers of women and people from depressed classes, getting them involved like never before. And that brings us to our third and final must-know movement. This was it, the ultimate call to action, the final major mass struggle for India's independence. So picture this. It's the middle of World War II, and right then, the Quit India movement is launched. It had just one super clear, non-negotiable demand: an immediate, complete end to British rule in India. And the wartime context is absolutely crucial. Think about the irony. India was being told to fight for freedom and democracy overseas while being denied that very same freedom at home. And this feeling, this urgency, was captured perfectly by Gandhi's powerful call to action: do or die. That phrase says it all, doesn't it? It just captures the absolute intensity of the moment. This wasn't about negotiating anymore. This was a final, all-or-nothing push for freedom. Okay, exam essentials for this one. Remember the date, August 8th, 1942. What was the trigger? Well, it was the failure of the Cripps mission, which was Britain's proposal that just didn't promise complete independence. And here's what made this movement so unique. The British reacted by arresting the entire Congress leadership, like overnight. And what happened? It sparked this massive, spontaneous, leaderless revolt all across the nation. Okay, so we've looked at all three movements one by one. Now, let's zoom out and put them all together. Seeing the big picture, how they connect, that's the real key to remembering all these details. This timeline shows a really clear progression, right? The best way to think about it is like a story of escalating intensity. It starts in the 20s with non-cooperation, where the idea was basically, we're not going to help you run this country. Then by 1930, with civil disobedience, it ramped up to, okay, now we're going to actively break your unjust laws. And finally, 1942, the Quit India movement delivered the final ultimatum: get out, now. See how each one builds on the last? It's like they were climbing a ladder, step by step, pushing the country closer and closer to independence. So, what does this all mean for you? What's your revision mission? Let's make it super simple and actionable. Look, the strategy couldn't be simpler. To lock in that big 15 to 20 mark section, you're going to focus your revision energy on these 3 game-changing movements. If you really get their causes, their methods, and their impact, you are putting your effort exactly where it's going to count the most. You have totally got this. Seriously. Just focus on these 3 movements, and you're going to be in such a great position for your boards. So revise them now, while it's all fresh in your head. And hey, tell me what's next. What's the next topic you're struggling with? Let me know.